What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be working on installing the RTR Skid Plate on your 18 to 20 Ford F-150. For this install, we're going to use an 8mm socket, a 10mm socket, a 13mm socket, and a 15mm socket. I also chose to go with a 1/2-inch wrench and extension, but feel free to use whatever you got on tap. You're also going to see me use this 1/2-inch impact. You don't necessarily need one for this job. I just use it because my arms gas out or start to whine and complain. It makes everything way more difficult than it needs to be. Okay, now that we know what it takes to put this thing together, let's find out what's inside the box. I mean, it's a skid plate. The skid plate's in the box. And some spacers. Let's put it on the truck. Start by removing the trim panels in the bumper by pulling outward until the spring clips release. Remove the two 21mm flange nuts on each side, securing the bumper to the frame. From behind the bumper, disconnect the fog lamps. Pry the fog lamp wiring harness anchor out of the bumper and remove the 21mm inner flange nut on each side. Disconnect the cruise control module behind the bumper if so equipped and slide the bumper forward and set it on a padded working surface. Remove the 5 13mm bolts holding the mounting plate to the bumper. Remove the 4 8mm bolts holding mounting plates to the bumper on each side. Remove the 18 10mm flange nuts securing the air dam to the bumper. Compress the 3 plastic connectors securing the no longer needed air dam to the bumper and push them out. After you've removed the OEM tow hook covers, reinstall the fog lamps and bumper mounts and torque them down to 18 foot-pounds. Reinstall the front bumper and torque down to 76 foot-pounds. If working on an F-150 with an FX4 package, remove the 2 front OEM skid plate bolts. Loosen the 2 15mm tow hook bolts on either side so that the hook hangs approximately 0.75 inches below the frame. Slide the skid plate onto the vehicle between the tow hooks and the frame with the rear edge of the skid plate over the OEM plate or cover. On FX4 model, slide the 2 10mm spacers between the RTR skid plate and the OEM skid plate. Align the holes in the spacer with the vehicle and secure the skid plate using the OEM 15mm bolts. Torque the tow hook bolts to 35 foot-pounds from the rear of the skid plate. Transfer any trim clips that were retained in the bumper back onto the tabs and reinstall trim panels onto the vehicle. Two things to point out real quick on the RTR F-150 skid plate. One, people are always asking me, does it affect the oil change? On the 5.0 and the 2.7, it does not. On the 3.5, you will have to remove the skid plate. Thankfully, all you're doing is loosening 4 bolts in the front, 2 in the back, so it adds maybe about 3 minutes in total to the job, so you have nothing to worry about there. The other one is for front clip-in license plate holders. Due to the overhang now of the RTR F-150 skid plate, you're going to have to flip that upside down and clip it back in place. After that, you're ready to rock. So much for tuning into this episode. I hope you found it informative and useful in the installation of your product. If you guys like this product or any of our other products, go and check out rtrvehicles.com. And while you're there, go ahead and peep some of our merch. It looks kind of good, looks kind of classic. And until next time, I'm Jordan Wheeler with RTR Vehicles, and I'll catch you on the other side of fun. Whoa!